All right, listeners, and that was Rewind by Charlie XCX off the recent album, 2024's album Brat, which I like. It's probably gonna be one of my favorite albums of the summer. I'm so surprised a lot of my friends still surprised I listen to pop music. I do. I mean, I do. I do have like a guilty pleasure listening to Britney Spears. I also like the almost like 2000s tween pop era, trash era. I really love that style of music. Interesting enough, pretty good when you're doing cardio. And then the first track you heard was from, I guess you could say, emo rock band. I guess you could say it's emo. Mount Orlando with the song "We Should Get Out of Here Before Something Goes Terribly Wrong." I love that name of the album, really do. That happened to me a lot. We were all in high school and middle school. I'm not gonna go into detail what happened in high school, but we all know what's going on there. Good afternoon, listeners to Coffee Noise. I'm your host, DJ Marlin, and if you can believe it, it's Tuesday once again. You know what that means, listeners. I don't really. I really don't. I'm not that good at remembering what day it is sometimes. I still have to check my phone in the morning. Like, I know some people, they can, like, wake up and I think, oh, it's Monday, it's Tuesday, it's Wednesday, it's Thursday, it's whatever. I'm terrible at it. Um, Maybe because I'm always like busy every single day of the week, so it kind of gets me kind of confused on what days it is. So sometimes I'll just wake up randomly, like I don't know, like 5 in the morning. It's like, okay, I gotta check my phone because I don't know what day it's gonna be today. And it turns out today is Tuesday. So hi, well, how are we doing out there today? It is the 15th of October, 2024. You know what that means? We are almost halfway through the month already. I didn't know that, listeners. And also this morning, I took my driving exam, and I finally have my license. All late at 21 years of old. Better late than never. I should have got my hair cut before I took my ID photo because my hair looks slightly off, and my driver license won't expire to the year 2033 when I'll be 30 years old. So 9 years. I have no idea where I'm going to be in 9 years. Hopefully, I'll be in grad school. Hopefully so. But you know what? Anything can happen. I could find a regular job and work there for the rest of my life. I don't know. But, we're looking forward to it. And we are here for the future. Hoping that the future is a good future for me. But you know what? I like to think positive. Even though I'm not really that much of a positive thinker. But anyways, let's look at the weather right now, listeners. Currently in the city of Edinburgh, it is our high of 92 degrees, so it's a nice warm day outside. If you're going out for a walk later tonight, it's going to be a low of 63 degrees, so maybe put on a nice sweater and some nice comfortable pants. You know what I'm saying? Apparently, we do have a chance of rain for tomorrow and Thursday. Hopefully so, because I need to wash my car, and I haven't done around doing that. I know rainwater isn't the best for washing your car because it's kind of like dirty and whatnot, but I've just been lazy, listeners. I just haven't gotten around to washing my car. Let's talk about the next two tracks we're going to be playing for you. The next two tracks are coming off from the record label Death Is Not the End, one of my favorite archival records of recently, or this year really. It's been getting to like a deep dive into their entire discography. They did a compilation album of wax home recordings from a long time ago. So the next track you're going to hear is, as titled, Brown Wax Home Recording of an Organ Solo, January 23rd, 1896. And then we're listening to a piano piece by, I believe, an Iranian musician, Morteza Mahajoubi. I've been really getting into online music spaces. I know, listeners. Does that make me a music snob? It really does. Let's just get into the music, yeah. And that was Morteza Mahjoub. I believe that was during recorded between 1956 to his death in 1965. It was played on Iranian radio programming, and I believe what was the name of that organization? They recorded a lot of the Goha project, the British Library's Endangered Archives program, according to the description online. It's tuned in a certain manner. It's for me, I see it walking a fine line between very calming, get almost anxious. That's kind of like explain the sound of it. But yeah, the great record label Death's Not the End. They released two compilations of his work. I think it's like that was from the second version. I was listening to the entire album last night while I was trying to do some reading for class tonight, and it was like, wow, this is really good. It's really calming. It's amazing. And the first track was, it's amazing to hear like a wax record from the year, what was it again, like 1896. I also watched a video how those wax recordings work. You had to like use a long tube to capture the sound. And wasn't going to be perfect, sound vibrations work differently and whatnot. And those looking at was late 1800s. Even then, like just looking at the science, how like a record label works or how a record works, it just grooves and it's literally just a needle going through and making the noises. What we hear, I mean, I saw a video once of someone doing horribly using a coat hanger to make the sound and make it come out like a pair of speakers. Does it sound amazing? No, it sounds horrible. You would think, a professional turntable would use, a nice high grade diamond coating needle. But it's interesting to see, like, yeah, that's how simple getting music out of a record is. It's just grooves design, which is interesting and it also kind of like spoils music for me when I think about like the ease of streaming services. I mean, I do love streaming music, but there's something special about owning a physical copy of an album. I don't know. Maybe it could just be me being a collector, or it could just be me being pretentious. I'm probably going more with the pretentious side. Hmm. But yeah, Death is not the one of my favorite archival records. As I said, they'll do a radio show on NTS, which for all the listeners out there, I highly recommend it if you're trying to get into world music. Recently, actually picked up a CD from the thrift. It was a collection of traditional dance music of different African countries. I listened to the entire album already. It was like it's really good. It also spanned like different countries. And it was like went from, let's see, it was Cambodia, Ghana, Sudan. I think the nation of Chad, the Congo. It was like, okay, this is like really calming. It's like it's different. I wouldn't say it's weird, but it's different. Weird sounds something like alien. Weird, no, it's just different. Coming from a Western listener listening to music of Africa, it's very traditional. There's certain different styles of rhythm and the pacing. It's very different, but very, very interesting. For the next track, I decided to do a nice little transitional piece. This is Madrigal by Binot Perlard. I decided to go for some ambient music because I find it comfortable. So, yeah. All right, listeners, and we are back. It is 4:31 in the afternoon. How are we doing? How are we doing? How are we doing? Let's talk about the two albums I was looking at. I listened to a lot this weekend. Obviously, last Friday was the 11th, I believe. Wait, was it the 11th? I can't remember. 11th, 10th, yeah, it was 11th, the 11th of October. There's a few albums I was looking out for. The one I was looking out for was the remix album by Charlie XCX titled Brat, and it's completely different, but it's also still Brat. I really did like the remixes. I especially liked the one, what was it? Obviously, I would guess was Billie Eilish. Von Dutch was pretty good. Also like the Talk Talk featuring Troy Sivan. As well as, I'm going to say, So I Was featuring A.G. Cook, obviously a legendary producer. But the other album I was definitely looking and listening to a lot recently was the new Chat Pile record, Cool World, released to the record label The Flenser. Really good, really loud, very slimy. If you're a fan of their first album, you're definitely gonna like the second album. I mean, the first album was like really good. It's dark. I mean, the album artwork is a prison. Second one, just the album artwork feels kind of empty and cold, but I really love that atmosphere sound. I mean, the singles were amazing. I believe they had the single "I Am Dog Now" and I believe "Mask." Those are the two excuse me singles, and I really love them both. Definitely gonna be listening to the album a lot because I like listening to a lot when I'm working out. I find it very calming for me personally, but I don't know. I just find it very calming. But yeah. Excuse me, listeners. I had a brisket sandwich earlier. Really good. Honestly, really good. I do get a bit gassy sometimes with brisket, which I forgot to tell to my girlfriend. But you know what? It happened. It happened. So we are going to work with that because, of course, we will. And also, recently over the weekend, we did receive news of the legendary New York hip hop recording artist Kasim Ryan, also known as Ka, died at the age of 52. He really was a captain for the FDNY, the New York Fire Department. Uh, Especially during the after September 11th, and I mean also to his album, his music recently, it was like really amazing, really great wordsmith. So rest in peace to him. And if you haven't heard about his music, definitely check out his albums. I believe one of my favorite albums of his that I was listening to earlier. Let me pull that up right here. Honestly, was actually his most recent album. Let's see, one of his most recent albums, Language Arts, released in 2022, as well as what was the other album I was listening to? Honor Killed the Samurai. I was listening to a lot recently. So yeah, classic New York legend. So yeah, let's get into the next few tracks right now. So I go for what would be the word? I guess somewhat Midwestern emo as well as some ambient music. I don't know what to be in ambient music. I just really got into an ambient kick. Maybe because it's calming, almost nostalgic like sounding. I don't know. Anyways, this is a recursion by Spring 2005. And that was Beatrice Part 2 by The Dead Texan off their self titled album, The Dead Texan. I believe it was Adam Wiltske of the ambient project Stars Led. Rest in peace, Brian McBride. I was listening to his NTS broadcasting, where he performed. He played 4 songs and 4 unreleased Stars Led tracks, which are still not released. There was always been word that they were always going to release another album because their last studio album, was released, I think, back in 2007. There was a refinement of the decline, or refinement of the decline, or refinement of the decline. Was it 2007? Yeah, it was 2007. And it's a. I still want to pick up the version. They had a triple vinyl version because I knew that one had the alternative artwork cover. And then I still want to pick up their other album. What's that? I forgot the name of the Stars Live album. It was the Yellow album. What was it called? I forgot the top of my head, but that one's a very uh, good album. Maybe cry. It's very dark. I wouldn't say dark in like a ooh loud, spooky. No, like a very I would say slightly existentialist dark. I'm probably just saying a bunch of words off the top of my head, listeners, but yeah, that's how I'm feeling right now. Anyways, the semester is almost over. It is, like I said, halfway through October, and we're almost done with the semester. And for those listeners out there, if this is going to be your final semester of college or another semester, I am now thinking about doing a master's program. And if I decide to go through that, it'll be a master's in political science, and I will be starting that next spring. Kind of weird. I think I heard somewhere that we're not going to use Blackboard this next semester. So we're going to go through something different. I don't. I don't know. I'm kind of interested to see how that's going to work out. Maybe we're using Canvas or something. Canva or whatever it's called again. I forgot. I used that like in high school when we were doing like dual enrollment. Kind of weird. I was thinking about this recently. I kind of forgot everything in high school. It just felt like a blur. Probably for me because like half of 11th grade and all of 12th grade was online, so there was like that disconnect I had, from the external high school world from me because I was always at home. It feels kind of weird thinking about that. It almost feels like it didn't exist for me personally. I don't know if I like that or not. I mean, I don't know. I really kind of think about that a lot. Obviously, I don't think about it too much because I'm going to go through like an existential crisis, like, oh, what's going on in life? And I'm already a philosophy major, already that for a living. But yeah, it feels like a blur. And already this year, it's already about 3 years since I've been in college. Feels kind of weird thinking about that. I already did a total of 3 years here. And I'll be getting my bachelor's in December, hopefully so. Hopefully, gonna graduate. I put a lot of time into this, so I should graduate. And I also still need to order my gown. Probably do that probably tomorrow when I'm done with class enough and I have a midterm exam to do tomorrow, but it's gonna be an easy one. Just to look over the review sheets and like remember, oh, this is what basic ideas in Buddhism and Hinduism is. So yeah. Let's get to the last final two tracks for today. This is the acoustic version of "The Moon" by the Microphones. All right, listeners, and we are back. It is 4:50. I'm about to wrap up this week's show for today. Let's see here, top of my head. Well, as always, this week's playlist, you can always find it on both Apple Music and Spotify. You can find it by following me on Instagram at WhatFor2003. I believe we'd say the total of what? 9 tracks for today. Just going down the bottom, top of bottom showing from my end. We have Beatrice Part 2 by The Texan, Recursion by Spring 2005. We Should Get Out of Here Before Something Goes Terribly Wrong by Mount Oriander. Improvisations Emar Yek Shakek Goal number 146 by Morteza Majubi. The Moon acoustic version by the Microphones. My Amaro by Kevin and the Bikes. Brown Rock's home recording of an organ solo, January 23rd, 1896, by the compilation record Death Is Not the End. A Madrigal by Benet Pollard, and then Rewind by Charlie XCX. And final thought off the top of my head, Iced Tea. Remember, you're tuned into Vaquero Radio, the Valley's only student station. Goodbye.